You're a natural born public speaker, and that's a fact.
Do you actually feel guilty, or were you just told to feel guilty?
Focus on actually what we can do.
Point it out and show it to me.
You have the freedom to do what you want to and be what you want to in America.
What are we going to do about it?
What oppressed me?
Just saying.
So the CRT stuff, BS.
So I got this really interesting question from a really young person, around 12 years old she was. And what's funny about that is that I've never gotten this question ever. I've gotten all kinds of different things about running for office, etc., etc. It's really interesting. This young girl came up to me, and while talking, she just said, "What would you do if you were the president?" And guys, I don't know why. It didn't shake me or anything like that. It was just more or less like, wow, like no one has ever asked me that. So that's what she said. If you were president, what would you do? And then these adults that were all standing around were just kind of like, whoa, like, wow, like, ooh wee. And I thought about it. I just looked. First of all, I was just looking at her because I was really impressed that she asked that question. And what's amazing is that the response came as if it was just easy. Seriously, it was just easy. I know there's a lot of things that go into it, policy, et cetera, but what I told that little girl is I said, if I was president right now, I would treat America like I would treat you, as if you was my daughter. So the number one thing I'm going to do if I were president, the number one thing that I would do, I would make sure by any means necessary that you are safe. Right from the jump. Safety. I told her I would run it like I run my house. I would run it like I run my house. I would make sure that my house is safe and secure from all threats, any threats whatsoever. In order to do that in my own house, I serve as the military in my house, along with my sons, protection. Right now, because they're older. With America, easily. The border that's open right now absolutely would be shut off. Illegal immigrants wouldn't even be a thing right now. That wouldn't even be a thing. I would put so much money into encouraging people to protect the borders, to protect America. Plain and simple. That right there would be easy. Number two, once the house is protected, you have to make sure that you get your house in order. And in order to have the house in order, I got a clean house. I got to take care of my house with all truth, with righteousness, with being the leader that I am of my house. Anything that can harm you mentally, I will make sure to the best of my ability that those things wouldn't come, because it starts here. Everything is going to start here. Everything is going to start here. I would definitely get rid of a bunch of nonsense that's being taught to our children. Whitney Houston sung a song. She said, "I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children laugh to remind us how things used to be." That mean, my God, I will make sure that the children, school, first, there will definitely be school choice. Big time, school choice. And not only that, I will make it so difficult for these folks to bring that type of activism thinking into a school system which don't need to be there. Now, there's a difference between teaching history and teaching a person to be an activist. The things that are being taught in school right now, a lot of the stuff, like some of y'all that this dude don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about CRT. CRT is only taught in college. You really thought I spoke out of that school board meeting without knowing that this nonsense is going to be in the schools? You really thought I was just talking, just blabbing off at the mouth? Y'all just don't know me that well. I never open my mouth and say stuff without actually researching a lot of stuff first. So anyway, the point I'm saying it is that math, science, social studies, and history will be taught in schools. Real history. That means everything, not just a one-eye view of what happened during slavery with black folks, which is what they only want to focus on. Matter of fact, do y'all, besides George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Barack Obama, perhaps, Donald Trump, can anybody else name any presidents from one on through? Why do they focus on only certain presidents? Like, how come I didn't know about these other presidents? Why do we know about some of these racist presidents? Woodrow Wilson, How come they didn't talk much about him in the books that he brought and the ones that he put into the schools, showing depictions of black folks being monkeys? Then had the nerve to have some schools in some urban neighborhoods like where I grew up at. Woodrow Wilson was a middle school or elementary school in Decatur. Knowing this man had books out there depicting black folks to be monkeys. I ain't even about to get on to that, but my point is, I will make sure that the things that are necessary for life, for actually being able to self-sustain, will be taught in school. I wouldn't be having this rhetoric out there to be teaching kids to hate America. Definitely there. So that would be something I would definitely do. Number 3, I would definitely make sure that our officers will be serving the communities well, like they should be. Not to say that no police officers are bad, but I will put so much, what's the word I'm looking for? So much focus on the police officers them being righteous and minded, not to be scared to call out anybody that might be corrupt, because guys is everywhere. There's corruption among the police force. There's corruption. There's bad police officers, bad firemen, bad co-workers, bad doctors, bad lawyers. There's bad people in all of this. I would definitely have a huge push for it to be more community oriented. I would definitely push for them not to always depict police in the bad light. Likewise, I would push for them not to always depict black people in the bad light. Not to depict, like right now, all white people are racist. All that nonsense will be completely gone if I were president. If I was president, it will definitely be capitalism at strongest. Fair market all across the board. Definitely that. But you know what? I might have to jump back up to number 2, because after I, you know what? Let me just knock number 2 back down. My number 2 thing will be definitely going after YouTube and Facebook and all that. I will do my darnest as president to absolutely shut y'all down with the nonsense that you are doing. Definitely shut all that down. All this nonsense of censoring people because they got their own opinion. You are censoring legit doctors and other medical professionals, nurses, PAs, therapists. You censoring us like you know more than what we do, because it's not coming from a source that you so-called trust that goes along with your narrative, your rhetoric. YouTube definitely would be. I would definitely have policy in place to where it would be opened up. You're not gonna. How you gonna censor somebody based off their words? Then y'all got some of the most disgusting stuff on here. You got fights on here. You got people butt naked on here and all this. And then somebody say some words that y'all don't agree with, and you censor and shut them down, or you ban them like you did me. I would definitely go after that. That would be like high priority on the list. Executive orders like coming like crazy on that. So there's a whole lot of other things that I definitely would do. It definitely would be. I wouldn't push people to really try to go to college. I wouldn't make that a big thing like that's supposed to be your life goal is to go to college. Now, if you want to go to college for certain professions, I got you. But otherwise, other jobs that may be out there in the business world or something like that may not require you to necessarily have a degree, those things, no, I would have some type of apprenticeship or something set up to where you can actually do on-the-job training, because all of us got to get it anyway most of the time. That's why when you go to therapy, PA school, nursing, you get hands-on training, because that's where the real learning, the real experience takes place. Not saying the book work is not important, but the real stuff takes place when you're out there doing your residency or your clinicals, right? So there are certain jobs out there that I feel don't necessarily need to have you required to have a degree versus somebody actually teaching you how to do the job. Because a lot of things that colleges are doing right now is just to keep you in debt, and they just making money off of it. It's for a gain. You're getting useless and pointless degrees just for the sake of saying I have a bachelor's. So guys, that's just a few things. I can go on a ton about this. Now, you say, well, what about the black community? What would you do for the disparities? It'd be real easy. I would easily take them away and make sure that no rhetoric, that no narrative. I don't care if it's from the Republican side or the Democrat side. I don't care what you call yourself. If you are pushing certain things, like how Jim Crow laws were and affirmative action and all this stuff was, if you were pushing this same type of rhetoric upon black people, that definitely be reversed. I would have programs set in place to definitely encourage people to explore their own goals, their own talents, their own abilities, and really push for them to actually get into programs that actually accommodates those abilities that they have. And let's see if there's a job out there for them. Now, would I be really just pushing this only towards the black community because we're so disenfranchised? No, I'm talking about changing the whole mindset that y'all know what it is, LBJ. I have them niggers voting for me for the next 200 Democrats for the next 200 years. And sure enough, that's what's been happening. But to be able to tell the truth, good, the bad, the ugly, just tell the story of America. Don't just give America a story based off of the Southern view that they put like in movies or they put like in school books that they only want you to see America one particular way. I messed somebody up with this before. I told them when they say, "Man, look what they did to our ancestors. Look what they did to us." I said, "Well, how you know you didn't? How do you know that you did not descend from the black people that never saw slavery at all? You know, like the ones that came up north. Oh, y'all didn't know that? Oh, y'all didn't know that some blacks that came here, they were indentured servants up north, and once they serve out their indentured servitude, they became free. They were given land, and they started doing those things themselves, and they actually sent for other people to come from Africa to be indentured service so they can do the same thing too. How do you know you didn't descend from those black people up north to say our ancestors, look what they did to us? I want to tell you why, because ask yourself, why is it that in our public school systems, or even just in a lot of school systems, period, I don't know if they teach in private school, I didn't go to one, but why is it that they only teach this Southern view of America history? It's so much more to there. So there's tons of black heroes that came along, tons of stuff that y'all don't even know that a lot of black people even did. That's what you need to be asking yourself. Why is that information being hidden from us? Huh? Because if you actually studied and did your research and studied the real history of America and seen that black and white people were doing things with each other right from the jump, it would totally change your mind and make you question, why are they trying to get you to see America a particular way? Because right now in the school system, that's what they're doing. They're teaching you to hate police officers, which represents authority. They're teaching you to hate a different race. They're teaching you to hate your own race because you're responsible for something you didn't do. They are teaching you pretty much to hate America. If they teach you to hate America, they're going to say, well, then everything that America stands for is rooted in hatred and rooted in racism and rooted in blah, 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 blah. It's going to teach you and make you feel like you need to actually redo the whole Constitution. Yeah, that's what they're going for. So that's one thing I would definitely push to, definitely protect the Constitution, period. I will make sure that people who are qualified to do certain jobs will have nothing to do with their race. It will have everything to do with their ability and their experience and what they can bring to the table. I will make sure that news outlets and all those different things like that, freedom of press, I'll make sure that they actually do the same thing. Try my best to make them tell the whole story and quit trying to push a narrative. But I ain't got the kind of money to do something like that. You know, I probably would be shot dead or something like that trying to go against that system. But then again, who knows? Because I don't know. I'm not saying that there's not really real Christians out there, but real men of God who know for a fact they are of God and led by God. Evil cannot fight against that. Well, I don't know, Ty, you can't, dude. Evil cannot. There is not even a battle. The issue that we have right now is there's not a lot of real men and women of God like y'all thought it was. Where are your mega church preachers at? Where are they at? Not speaking out of saying nothing about this. They showing y'all exactly who they are. That's what I hate that all this stuff is going on. But the fact that all this evil is going on in the world and you got major mainstream preachers who are not saying a word about this, that should tell you something about that ministry. No, what we're going to do, we're going to pray. And no, you need to call out the evil for what it is. Plain and simple. So again, I applaud that little young woman who asked me that question right there. Guys, there's a ton of other things that I can talk about that I would do. But that's all I got for right now. And plus, y'all probably like, okay, I'm tired of hearing Ty jabber on about this. But there's a ton of more stuff that I would add to the table. So anyway, I'm not going to say her name, but I thank you for asking me that question. And anybody else, if y'all got something y'all want to add to this, I mean, it's just basic conversation we just having right now. So let me know. Y'all probably been chatting it up the whole time anyway during this whole ordeal. So if you weren't in here in the live video, let me know what y'all think by leaving in the comments below after this video. All right. I'm Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man. I hope and pray every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing. And most of all, I hope and pray every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you through Jesus.
What is going on, folks? Appreciate you guys watching. Do me a favor, if you're trying to get to the next reaction video that I did after this video, it's right here. But if you're trying to get to my own personal stuff where I do a lot of comedy things that make you laugh, can help brighten your day, then you click right here, all right? And if you want to subscribe to this channel, you forgot to get to know who I am first, all right? Then you're going to click right here to lead you into this subscription. Make sure you hit the bell notifications to get notified anytime I post a video, all right? That